Hey folks, welcome back to LRG Podcast. We are back with another introduction of a brand new LRG starting out in Florida State University. Um, we have a lot of things going on right now. We appreciate you subscribing, following along. Currently, we are doing recaps of everything from Melbourne Survivor, pretty soon to be Sydney Survivor. So just keep tuning in and watching all the great content. A few games going on right now, Doubt, and also Michigan Mole. So make sure you tune in for those. But here we are talking about season 1 and kind of season 2 of this new game at FSU. We are joined with a player from season 1 and the production member himself, Sean. Sean, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having us on. It's really excited to be able to talk to you today about Survivor FSU.
Cool. And then Kyle, welcome. What is your role in kind of FSU?
Hey, Dustin, thanks for having us on. The first season, I was just a player. I didn't do anything other than just playing. And then for the second season, a lot of the current season 1 players decided to join onto the production team and help out for the next future seasons. Unless there's a returning season and we want to play, then we won't help out. But
you gotta wait for all stars, right?
Yeah, I gotta have enough seasons to build up an all stars or something. If I do good enough in the game to make it, right? Mm-hmm. But so right now we just have a production chat, and I don't have an official role, but we have others who do. Like we have an art department led by someone with an art degree. We have a film department led by someone who's like a minor in film, and so she does like a lot of film, and she knows the angles and all that, all that fun stuff. And so she already like wrote out a film plan for season 2 and everything. We have someone who's in charge of like idle and advantage ideas, and then we have a challenge department, all that kind of stuff. And so I've just kind of been like an overview guy, I guess. Not really anything specific, not yet at least. But I do want to help out with challenges at one point. So maybe that'll be my role.
Yeah. Sean, explain what Survivor FSU is like. We're typically known for college survivors like Michigan, Maryland, that kind of stuff that take premise over a whole semester, up to 100 days. How is FSU a little bit different?
So Survivor FSU, our first season as well as our second season are all filmed in the same day. So it's like a mini format, but like in person. So we like run all of the challenges, all the tribals, like all really back to back. So it's like a lot shorter time in terms of strategy. And yeah, it's very fast paced.
Sean, where did you get the idea to put on a game like this?
So I played some online games last year, and one very long game and a lot of mini games. And my goal was to bring it to FSU. And I think the main reason for having like mini games at FSU is it works a lot easier for people's schedules, and you can just have a specific day for everyone to show up on that day and have like a whole mini game like that. This semester, I started up a club here where we watched season 44 live, like weekly and stuff. And through that, we got interest for a live game, and we got about 21 signups. And in the end, we had a 13-person season last month.
Nice. And especially for a season 1, that's great starting. Kyle, we mentioned that we filmed this season 1. Where do we go to watch it?
You can go to our YouTube channel. It's just Survivor FSU. I guess you could put it in the comments, like a link to it. Yeah. And we actually have a link tree that has all of our socials. So like the Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, everything else, anything you need to find us on will be on the link tree. So
you got the whole collection.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean, how do these episodes roll out? Is it like a weekly thing, or when should we expect them?
Episodes are released on Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. So far we have the first 5 episodes out. So we're not quite. We still have like a decent amount of episodes left to come.
I believe there will be 12. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Below in the comments, if you can. Oh, I forgot that. Never mind. Put it in their moment. So when did you like start filming this? I understand it was a pretty quick turnaround for you, right, Sean?
When we started filming it, like
when did the show? When did the
oh
game
yeah. So we ran this game on April 22nd, last month on a Saturday. And it was really crazy. I was up until 4 a.m. the last night just preparing everything because we were having people like drop out like a few days before we had 16 and then up being 13. We had to make a lot of like changes and stuff like that. But yeah, we filmed it on April 22nd. Everyone started arriving at 9:30 a.m. and people left at 10:30 p.m. So it was 13 hours long, which is very long. But yeah, so it's been about a month.
Mm-hmm. And you're doing a quick turnaround too. Like you said, it was just filmed last month and you're editing now. Who does most of your editing?
That's me and Julia from the game as well.
Nice. Kyle, do you have a background in editing or what got you interested in that part?
I actually used to do like YouTube and like I had like a gaming channel and I just learned as I went and like I used to use other free softwares. Now I just learned how to use this software called HitFilm. And when we got towards the end of the game, someone had asked, "Hey, does anybody know how to edit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And then they were like, "Okay, well, can you help us edit?" I was like, "Sure." And so I made the intro. I edited the intro, episode 1, episode 3. Julia edited episode 2, 4, and 5, and then I'll be doing 6 and 7, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Sean, there's a lot of like college survivors, live reality games going on. I do enjoy the fact that yours are very like, I can watch it over a lunch per se. Why should people tune into FSU specifically?
I think you should tune into FSU because everyone in Survivor FSU is really there to play. Like we only had 13 people sign up. Those 13 people really are there to like put their all into the game, and it's a really interesting season that you should definitely check out.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, I know that you played season 1, of course.
Yeah.
What are we going to expect? Do we get some big blow ups, some blindsides? What's going on?
I would say yes, there's some blindsides, there's some backstabbing, and then there's some revenge. So
all in the course of 13 hours.
Yes. And it was really good lying going on, really good strategy, manipulation. All in all, I think it was a great season. I think it was if it was a real season of Survivor, I think it would be a pretty good season. And I think everyone was satisfied with how it turned out.
Since it was season 1, Sean, there's a lot of learning that usually happens on production from running a show. What was some big takeaways that you had from season 1 that you're going to bring into season 2?
One, in terms of filming, we need better filming equipment. Our idea for this season, like how we did it, is we just used people's phones to record. And it was really difficult to compile all that footage together and lots of different quality problems. So in the future, we're going to use like better equipment for recording. In terms of the challenges and everything in general, it needs to be planned out like really, really like well. Like we could save a few hours just for everything being like really on top of it. A few challenges we could have a bit more like specific things, because sometimes we would have like a challenge in one area and like one tribe would do a challenge over here and one tribe over here, and there would be like little inconsistencies like that they're doing slightly different from each other. Like we need to make sure it's like really on lock with challenges going on at the same time. But overall, I think it went a lot better than I was honestly worried it would just like fall apart and it would be really bad. But like we got through the whole season and everything worked out well, and people playing enjoyed it and they played really hard. So I'm happy with the result.
Mm-hmm. And I'm happy with the viewers right now too. Like anybody watching right now, if you have any questions specifically for Kyle, Sean, or of course myself, I don't know anything here. That's why I'm asking all the questions, of course. But just drop them in the comments below and we'll get them on screen and we'll go over it. Kyle, how about you? Like you got to play. Usually playing is a totally different experience. You made some great connections. How was it to kind of live your dream playing Survivor for a day?
It was actually super interesting because like I went into it with the idea of like I do really wonder how I would do in these like I always watch Survivor and I'm like I could so do that. Like how do you people not know, whatever, how do you not know they're lying, or it's so much easier to sit on your couch and criticize. And I was like I really do want to see how I would do in that situation. And I was actually happy with the way people perceived me and the way that I played. And I would say it is different if you're sitting on the couch and doing that. And so, I also wanted to use it as practice if I ever got on Real Survivor, because I have applied. So it was a good practice.
Now, you talk about watching Survivor before, and we chatted a little bit before we came on camera. Was there anybody specific from the actual show that you tried to model your gameplay as, or that you want to emulate in the future?
I would say
basically, like, who's your favorite player?
Okay, so obviously I love Tony. He's probably my favorite player. I didn't try to emulate my gameplay after Tony. I would say that the game was so quick, I didn't really have time to.
You couldn't build a spy shack, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, it was just, we only had like 10 minutes of strategy in the beginning, and every round strategy got less minutes. So it'd be like 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 6 minutes. And so we were just kind of ramping it up, trying to leave, because we were there for 13 hours. So it was really hard to try to formulate some kind of immaculate strategy versus just trying to survive a boat.
Sean, if you ever were to play a game like this, or any kind of game in general, and we talked a little bit about online games, but anybody that you really like look up to in the Survivor world? I know you're a Big Brother fan too.
Yeah. So I can't think of a person in general, but if I was just like the combined players, like the ideal like things that I want to think about is not be a massive threat at the beginning. I've actually played some online games, and I actually am like, in the minis that I played, I'm often like easily voted out early. So like, I'm not sure. Sometimes I try to be too like under the radar. I think like it doesn't work, and the opposite as well. I'm just too over the top. It's just the opposite. If I had to think of a player, I think like in Big Brother, like I feel like I'd want to be someone like Steve from Big Brother 17, who like people don't think is like a big threat until near the end. Like somehow like it's kind of like underneath, but like you get out a bigger threat near the end, and then you end up winning.
Nice. So you are opening casting for season 2, or you have applications out now? Is that correct?
Yeah, on the link tree.
Mm-hmm. On the link tree, you can sign up for season 2. We are like approaching like the amount of people that we can like accept, but there's always people that drop. So feel free to sign up if you're in the area and interested in applying for Survivor FSU.
Is this available only for college students, or just anybody in the area?
Anybody in Tallahassee. I'm not an FSU student. I actually graduated. So yeah, and we actually had 3 people in total who weren't FSU students, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it was anybody in the area, and that also opens up the door really well, like to anybody who wants to come in. It limits it less because there's less people who would play. You have to be a Survivor fan to want to come out and play for 13 hours. So we don't want to limit it to just students.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Application wise, is that posted on your Facebook page, or should we just check out that link tree like you said?
Just check out the link tree. There's a Google form where you can like just fill out the Google form, and that's essentially sign up application, and we'll reach out to you.
Fantastic. Sean, any price point for this?
What?
Any sign up fee?
Oh, okay. So we don't have a sign up fee yet. So we're starting out new. That might be something we have in future seasons, but for these first 2 seasons, we don't have a sign up fee.
Mm-hmm. Here is a comment from the viewer, a question, looks like from Julia. Julie would love to hear from you two what they hope to accomplish from the mini game on June 3rd. Don't know what this means, so June 3rd mini game. What are we accomplishing?
So June 3rd is our season 2. We kind of call it the mini game because we wanted to do another season, but there's less people here during the summer at FSU. So instead of aiming for 16 to 20 people, we were aiming for like 10 to 12. So just less people. So it's still a Survivor game. We were just calling it mini games. That is Julia from the season that commented. So
best of luck to you, Julia.
Well, okay. I mean, just if you keep watching, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, for this mini games or this Paradise Park season on June 3rd, we're hoping to streamline our season a lot more. Use new camera equipment. planning more elaborate challenges for people to play. We have an entire map like of the area. This can be an outside season at a park where we have a certain area for one tribe, certain area for the other tribe, and we have certain strategy locations so we can like effectively like record everyone's strategy. And we're just hoping to like improve upon season 1 and give a good experience to everyone playing as best as we can.
It seems like you've learned a lot from season 1, and you have a great like interest from your production team and past players to help you out with season 2. So definitely looking up for that ramped up version. Have you either watched any of the previous other college survivors or anything like that?
I think I watched a little bit of the Survivor Michigan in researching for like how to edit and whatnot. Which I didn't really use as any kind of inspiration. I didn't finish it. I just watched, went through and browsed through some episodes. The only full non-real Survivor I watched was just my buddies back in North Carolina. He does, I don't think it has a specific name, but his friend just runs it out of his like lake house. And so he sent me the links because he played in the first couple of them. He played in one of them in an All-Stars. And then now he's actually there. Just yesterday they finished filming their third season, and so he was texting me, updating me about it. I was like, "Don't spoil, I'm gonna watch it." So.
And it's so interesting to see the number of people that put these on either in a smaller venue that film it and record it just for their friends, and they turn out, hey, there's a whole community of that. Sean, have you seen anything like this before?
So previously, I've watched a couple online seasons. I've watched the most recent season of Survivor Philadelphia, and I watched this season from 2003 called Survivor Otter Creek last year that was just released. So that was an interesting blast from the past. A lot of the ideas like for challenges and stuff for this season came from some online games that I have played and like reaching out. I also talked with someone from Survivor Maryland and got advice when I was starting up this season as well. So yeah. And there was actually a person on this season who had played like some like home like made like Survivor games like that aren't like up on YouTube or anything, but have played a few games as well. So it was interesting talking to them from this season.
Well, you got advice from one of like the top college survivors. Like Maryland is definitely like top tier for that. So you talked about watching the latest season of Philadelphia. That was Heart and Soul, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the best twists for dividing teams, by the way. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't watched it, but I seriously got home and I was like, oh my gosh, what a great idea. That was really, really spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, remind us, where do we go to watch FSU here?
You can go to the YouTube or the link tree. And I believe Sean is posting it on the Facebook as well. But where we post the videos is the YouTube.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that
just
should be
Survivor FSU. Like you can even type it into YouTube if you want to check it out. It's just Survivor space FSU.
And we have currently finished season 1 and we're working on season 2. Happens right before my birthday on June 4th. I'm sorry I can't fly down to join myself, but
it would be awesome.
Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. How did you hear about this? I saw some comments by one particular person on your Facebook page.
So I was the one who reached out to you because I was actually in the Survivor Reddit Discord. So like the Survivor Reddit Discord, that's kind of a mouthful. And I was talking to someone from either Maryland or Michigan because I'm active in both of those chats, just like talking and keeping updated. And I'm learning a lot about the community of homemade survivors. And they were talking about LRG. They have a great interview on LRG. And I'm like, what is LRG? And they're like, oh, it's just live reality. And they know that I was part of Survivor FSU because we have our own page on there now. And they said, you know what, you should actually go reach out to him to do an interview. And I said, okay, sure. Like, put me in touch. They said, look him up on Facebook, ask for Dustin. And that's exactly what I did. And we started chatting, and that's how we set it up.
Perfect.
And about you were asking about our Facebook page. Like there was someone that reached out to us actually that went to FSU like an entire decade ago. And we've been talking with him about stuff on there. So that was really interesting to talk with someone who went to FSU a very long time ago, who's involved like in the live reality game scene.
Yeah. Speaking of, it's Clark. That's what I was getting at. Clark has been on this podcast before. Clark has hosted a number of games. He's participated in a bunch of them too. Most recently, like The Mole, I think was his most recent one.
Cool.
Yep. What was that game?
The Mole, the Netflix show?
Jamie puts that on. I don't remember exactly. something the mole. So, my apologies, Jamie, for forgetting the title. Something the mole. I was working up it too. Anyway, well, Sean, any final thoughts and comments for our viewers watching right now?
I just recommend checking out the season. It was very a lot of work to put into like making this reality. I'm like really happy it actually happened this year, and we're continuing to make future seasons. I'm really hopeful for the future. We plan to have like a third season later in the fall as well. That we're gonna plan later on once season 2 is all done and everything. But yeah.
And the correct title is Who is the Mole? I just had to look it up, Jamie. I got it. Clark participated in that. And Kirk did too. Kirk said it was a really great game. So besides like Survivors, we do Big Brothers as well. And the Mole is ramping up as well. Kyle, any final thoughts here for this?
I would say that this season is actually really, really interesting. I don't want to like, toot my own horn or anything, but I do really like the editing. Like this is something that I would actually watch. Like the way I edit it, I feel like me and Julia, the way we edit it, I feel like these are actually interesting to watch, and it's not something that you would get bored with. I think if you've watched any of the episodes, I think you said you watched one. I think we tried to best emulate real Survivor in the way that we try to misdirect or create a storyline for certain characters, and I feel like it's going really well so far. Even with the limited amount of footage we have, and some of the footage may be lower quality because of different phones and phone cases and whatnot. But I think we work with what we have, and I think it's going well.
I'm always a big watcher of characters and strategy, and if you find people to connect with, I was just watching the intro because I watched episode 1, and I was like, oh, I'm rooting for this person. Oh no, I'm rooting for this person now, just in like the trailer on it. So that was super exciting.
Yeah.
Sean, you hosted season 1, of course. I know Kyle, you played. Sean, without any spoilers, of course, the cast going into it. You got to handpick the people. Were you specifically really rooting for someone, even if they didn't do very well, or did you have a favorite going into it? I mean, I'm sure all of them were your favorite. Don't get me wrong, Kyle. Like, okay, if Sean doesn't pick you, it's okay.
I think I know who his favorite is.
So yeah, I guess there's one person that I knew like before the game, so I was definitely rooting for Ashley since I know her from before the game. Like we're like in a relationship, so that's why, I guess. But no, she didn't get any special advantages.
He was impartial, I'd be fair.
She didn't get any special advantages or anything. But going into the game, I was interested to see Alex, because he said how he's literally won previous games that he's played in like with his friends. So I was interested to see how he played in the game as well. And yeah, I was interested to see everyone, I guess. Like, so this season, like we didn't have a very like extensive like application process, so I knew more about some people than I did others. I remember in the signups, like Jasmina said how she was really competitive and really excited to play. So I was interested to see how she played as well. And yeah, to not I think this comes up in the first episode, but there are a few like prior relationships in the games that was interesting to like figure out how we do that. I'm not gonna like spoil what they are, but it's discussed somewhat in the first episode, I believe. But yeah, I was interested to see how those played out as well.
And then, so taking us out for the day here, Julia just wants us to remind the viewers at home to watch Survivor FSU Season 1 on YouTube. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday at 8 p.m. I'm assuming Eastern Standard Time, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, folks. If you have any other questions, the video's up here. Check out their Facebook page, the link tree. Until then, everyone have a great day.
Have a good one. Thanks.